Yo, what's going on, guys? GCTV back with another video, and in this video we are going to be talking about Dexter. We are going to be talking about the second episode of season 4, a pretty interesting show here. I'm gonna have to take a break from this show as well as The Walking Dead because there are some new TV shows that have came out. There is Better Call Saul, which I'm kind of catching up with. And yeah, I'm gonna take a break this weekend. By the way, once the Don Toliver album review comes out, we won't have anything coming out in terms of content until like Sunday. I think I'll get, let's see, I'll probably release a weekly track roundup, a bunch of like NBA recap stuff, but I won't do any like TV episodes or anything. But yeah, let's just summarize this show up pretty much, what I think of it, what I think about what happens. Yeah, having just crashed his car due to lack of sleep, Dexter awakens surrounded by flashing lights. That was kind of like the plot twist, the cliffhanger or whatever to the season premiere. A physician, Dr. Montgomery, informs Dexter that he sustained a concussion and wants to keep him overnight for observation. Dexter doesn't want this because he's sitting in the ambulance, they're taking him to the hospital, and he realizes that he left the body parts for Benito Gomez in the back of his car. Or at least he thinks. It's going to be a very suspenseful, very intense, very nerve-wracking episode for Dexter here. Despite Rita pressing Dexter to take the next day off, Dexter returns to work by cab so that he can track down his totaled car and retrieve Benny's remains. Yeah, Maria and Angel have spent another night together and they are still keeping their relationship secret. That's interesting. Again, that was super sudden when they started off the season by showing that these two would be in like a relationship for the season. I thought that was really interesting. On Dexter's way to the station's motor pool to pick up a loaner car, he is intercepted by Lundy, who wants to talk about the bathtub murder. I mean, Lundy is just trying to talk to Dexter at like the worst possible times, you know? The Trinity Killer is sitting in an outdoor cafe, drinking coffee and solving a crossword puzzle when he notices two women walk by. And I really like how the show is doing this because, hold on one second. I just had the most despicable loogie of my life. Alright. Alright, sorry, maybe TMI. But I really like how this show like shows the killer and like living his everyday life and him carrying out the kills. That's something that they kind of lacked with like the Ice Truck Killer and the Skinner, honestly. And obviously, the Bay Harbor Butcher. That's Dexter. We know about Dexter, right? Dexter heads to the Ray's tow yard where his wrecked SUV was taken, apprehensive that SWAT, or the SWAT, is lying in wait for him. Like he's kind of anticipating he's done here. Like he's gonna go to jail or something. Which, whenever the plot twist happens in this episode, it's kind of funny, honestly. Like you were worrying all this time. Deborah asked Francis to bring her the files on Eddie Noonan, who was blamed for killing Vicky Noonan 30 years ago. So she's still trying to do some research about like the CIs, and in the meantime, Francis is helping her figure out like this Noonan case. You know, that happened 30 years ago. Maria holds up a newspaper, irate that the vacation murder splashed all over the front page. And Joseph Quinn obviously knows the reporter and is having like an intimate relationship with her. So, and Maria kind of knows that, so she's going to kind of like confront him about it, you know? At the crash site, Dexter is unable to find any body parts, just Harrison's teddy bear. He can't find it at the crash site, he couldn't find it in his car. Who knows where the hell these body parts are. Again, the entire episode is about Dexter. That's why it's called Remains to be Seen, which is kind of like a funny play on words. It's kind of fucked up again, but yeah, like this whole episode is about Dexter trying to find out where he put these remains at, which is very interesting dynamic. Francis brings Eddie Noonan's file to an appreciative Deborah. Like they've been working together throughout the season so far, and it's kind of an interesting thing, I guess. Let me make this image smaller. Holy shit, that's a problem. It's like blocking my face. We're cool. Alright, cool. It's still kind of blocking my face, but that's because I'm like leaning down here. But Outside the Vizcaya Reef Hotel, Christine Hill continues to flirt with Quinn, which is noticed by Maria, and Maria is eventually going to have like an intervention with Quinn. Like, okay, you can't just be sitting here flirting with reporters and whatnot. Like, that's not good. Which is fair enough. Dexter steps outside for some air and finds blood on a cactus on the path used by the murderer. And he was doing blood work before, and then he steps out, and coincidentally, he finds evidence, which is kind of crazy, really. Lundy unexpectedly joins Deborah for lunch outside the station. Obviously, she's very uncomfortable, as in the first episode, they had a very awkward intervention. They had a very awkward interaction. So, again, they have another awkward kind of thing going here as well. He's eating sushi instead of his cucumber and cream cheese sandwich, which is fucking gross, by the way. Trinity is still stalking the woman when her running son bumps into him, smearing his arm with ice cream. So there's kind of like this full circle cut type of thing, kind of like this coincidental thing that these two have like bumped into each other in public. As Dexter collects a blood sample from the cactus, he feels that he's spinning too many plates here. Quinn is able to open the room's safe by using the victim's birthday on his passport as the code. And yeah, there's cash, and Quinn like takes some of it. And there's kind of an awkward moment with him and Dexter and whatnot. So with Lundy watching, Deborah interviews ex-convict Eddie Noonan. So they're kind of moving forward with this case. Lundy is kind of like wanting her to do so, and she listens to him. She like complies, which I don't know why she would comply given their awkward interactions. But yeah, Trinity continues to watch the woman, noticing her affection for dogs. Of course. So he's going to use that to lure her in. This guy is a fucking genius. Obviously, it's not a good thing, but he's a fucking genius, I'm telling you. Dexter returns to the boxing arena to search for Benny's remains. He's like continuing to look around. Rita is shocked when she arrives at the impound lot and sees Dexter's wrecked car. At first, he told her like, oh, it's just a little scratch, but she sees his car, or like a little fender bender. She sees his car and she's like, holy shit, this dude got fucking destroyed in this wreck. While Dexter's looking for his ID to gain entrance to the station, Quinn apologizes for hassling him about the Gomez trial mix-up. They kind of reconcile with each other. They're like, okay, we're good now, you know. Alone in his office, Dexter briefly forgets his computer password until he tries Harry. Like his father, in like these visions and like these hallucinations and these voices in his head, shows up, and that reminds Dexter of the password, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Maria and Deborah talk about Lundy's unexpected arrival in Miami. They don't really like it. They don't really like that this guy showed up unannounced at the police station, which who does? Dexter doesn't find a match in the database for the blood on the cactus, so they're kind of left with a cold case episode for now for that. When Maria sternly calls Quinn into her office, he looks at Dexter apprehensively, like, did you fucking snitch on me for taking the money? Then he didn't turn him in, though. You know, just watch the pillow talk type of thing. Deborah surprises Lundy when she shows up at his hotel room. Like, you're just making it worse, Deborah. Like, you're showing so many mixed emotions here. Rita appears at the station and confronts Dexter about the severity of the accident. Like, why would you lie to me? We're in a marriage, you know, giving him that kind of talk. After drinking another high caffeine drink, Dexter tosses the can on the floor, which annoys Masuka. Of course, Masuka. All he really cares about is his forensics job. He doesn't really have an outside life, so when Dexter does that, he's kind of like mad about it. Quinn follows Dexter out to the parking lot and praises him for his work. Like, wow, good job here. Well, I mean, obviously you messed up earlier, but you made up for it. Meanwhile, Masuka is watching Angel and Maria as they open and close the window blinds in her office. He's starting to notice something. He's like the first one in the office that kind of notices that they're having a relationship. So, yeah. Deborah is all over Anton when he returns from home, kissing him over and over while saying that she loves him. So, she just wants to make it clear here that she still has this relationship. She still has this relationship with Anton. Like, that's not going away. In his quest to find Benny, Dexter returns to the boxing arena. And yeah. He can't find the fucking... He can't find it still, but Trinity intentionally runs into the woman he's been following. He's like walking the dog because he knows that she likes dogs and stuff. Again, this guy's smart. And he... Until next time, you know, he's he doesn't want to like make it abrasive. He wants it to be like a smooth relationship, and then he's gonna kill her, of course. Still at the arena, Dexter notices an identical blood spot on the boxing match he had cleaned. He notices the blood just keeps dripping. He wipes it up, comes back, it's still dripping down, so he's like, okay, that's where it is. It's in the ceiling, which is funny. This whole time, he put it on the ceiling with like the punching bag and whatnot. That's how it ends. The episode ends pretty much. I know this is kind of a weird review. I'm just kind of bouncing around from storyline to storyline in the show. I have to get going. I have to go to lunch. I have class here in like an hour, 50 minutes or so. So I'm gonna go eat some lunch. Probably watch Outer Banks. Probably work on some homework as well. Yeah, I gotta do a lot of grinding for my exams, but be on the lookout for an NBA recap later tonight. I'm also recording my Don Tolliver video. Hopefully I'll get my Yeet video edited